Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Paris and I'm happy to be here with another episode. In previous episodes, we talked about the history of ethnomusicology and musicology. In this episode, I'll try to discuss the history of Iranian music, which might be interesting for you. Actually, Iran is a country with a several thousand-year old history, and art and music have deep roots here. When I was looking for the information on Iranian music, it might interest you to know that sources are limited, and ancient Iranian music has been less studied and has much potential for research. So, if you are a musician and interested in studying the music of a region, I suggest you to study Iranian music because there are many untold secrets about the music of this area. To tell you a little bit about myself, I recently completed my master's degree in music and I'm looking for a PhD position. In one of my interviews with a professor from England, they asked me about the history of Iranian music and its origin. At the moment, I felt unprepared and didn't have a suitable answer. That was when the idea came to me that it would be a good topic for today's podcast since it might be interesting for you as well. And many listeners might be unaware of Iranian music and its history. In this podcast, I aim to introduce you to the music of different regions around the world. At the beginning of each episode, it's better to get acquainted with some concepts before diving into the music of a region. So, in this episode, I first introduce some concepts that will help us understand the topics in the future. So, first, it's essential to know how the history of Iran is classified. Ancient Iranian history includes various periods and each playing a significant role in shaping Iran's culture, civilization, and social and political structures. These periods cover the earliest human settlements to the end of the Sasanian period and the beginning of the Islamic era. Some of the most important periods and events in ancient Iranian history include prehistoric era, Elamite period, Median period, Achaemenid period, Seleucid, Parthian, and Sasanian period. These various periods of ancient Iranian history laid the cultural, social, and political foundations of Iran and had profound impacts on both Iranian and global history and civilization. The next concept to familiarize yourself with before diving into the history of Iranian music is the myths and great poets of Iran, such as Ferdowsi, who extensively mentioned music from ancient times in his Shahnameh. Ferdowsi, born around 940 CE, is a great Iranian poet and author who created his best works in the Shahnameh. The Shahnameh is an epic poem that envisions the stories and legends of ancient Iran. Actually, the Shahnameh, as a collection of ancient Iranian stories and legends, is considered a cultural and historical heritage of the Iranian nation. The Shahnameh contains about 60,000 verses in more than 60,000 couplets, and is recognized as one of the greatest achievements in Iranian literature and culture. Now let's look at music in ancient Iran. Although there is little information and few documents from this era, the available evidence suggests the continuity of music during this time. For example, Ferdowsi in the Shahnameh attributes the creation of some Iranian instruments to ancient and mythical kings of Iran. Since this great epic work is based on ancient narratives and documents, it includes references like the large drum attributed to Hushang and Jamshid's interest in the sorna, which is a type of reed instrument. Ferdowsi also credits the creation of the white reed flute to Manucher and Afrasiab. However, Ibn Khordadbeh in his book attributes the invention of the white reed flute to the Kurds and the black reed flute to the Iranian. Additionally, the done and harp are considered inventions of the Iranians. In contrast to these mythical narratives, archaeological findings from ancient times provide examples that demonstrate the continuity of the art of music in ancient Iran. Among the oldest of these artifacts is a cylindrical seal dating back to the 4th millennium BCE, discovered by Delogaz and Helen Cantor between 1961 and 1966 at Chogamish near Despot. It depicts the oldest known ensemble performance in the world. In this ensemble, all the musicians are Elamite women, with the first being a singer holding her right hand under her ear in the traditional manner of singers, indicating the antiquity of his practice. Delogaz commented on this valuable ancient artifact. This image is the first documented evidence of music as an organized art form. It shows a group of musicians, essentially the forerunners of modern orchestras. Behind the singer, a large harp player can be seen. Additionally, another person is depicted playing a drum with open hands, followed by another musician holding two horn-like instruments. Initially, we thought due to their curvature they might have reeds, but we realized that the end of one is attached to the musician's mouth. Thus, we conclude that this musician was playing a wind instrument, possibly a horn, while the other instrument seemed to be played differently. The fourth figure is a singer holding his hand under his ear, a pose also seen in ancient Egyptian art and still a tradition in the Middle East today. Therefore, this image depicts an orchestra with wind, string, and percussion instruments, along with the singer collaborating with or accompanying the musicians. However, this orchestra is only a part of the main scene, except for the drummer. All the musicians are turned to the right, facing a man sitting on a couch with a table of various foods in front of him, being served by an attendant. Thus, this scene represents a feast accompanied by music, likely related to a religious ceremony. That was today's episode. Thank you for staying with me and listening this far. If you enjoy it, please share it on your social media like Instagram, and in future episodes, we'll continue exploring the history of ancient Iranian music. Goodbye until the next episode.